what do more Americans and Westerners need to understand about Iran's role in the region and what they were doing and everything that's going on there?
Of course, this is a long and rich story because Iran is a civilization of 5,000 years. It's one of the great civilizations in the world. It was the first great empire of the ancient world at large scale. Interestingly, in the Hebrew Bible, it is the Persian leader Cyrus who is called the Messiah of the Jewish people, because actually going back to the 6th century BC, it is the Persian Shah of Shahs, Cyrus, who rescues the Jewish people or the Jewish leaders from their captivity by the Babylonians and enable them to return to rebuild the Temple of Jerusalem. So the history of the Jewish people and the Iranian people itself goes back 2.5 millennia. This is actually quite interesting because, again, in so many cases, there's no intrinsic reason for the kind of hatred and vitriol and supposed civilizational clash. There is a complete lack of understanding backed by and provoked by propaganda, by deliberate misreading of history and so forth. But I start with this point because Iran is the heir of a very proud and very ancient civilization. And Iran, there's a lot to say about it, but one thing that they do know is the United States and Britain did a lot to undermine Iran's place in the world in the second half of the 20th century. In 1953, which is a right starting point for the current situation, Britain and the U.S. took great offense to a radical idea of the Iranian prime minister at the time named Mossadegh, who said, you know, the oil under our sand is ours. And the British and the Americans said, no, that's ours and you're never going to get it. And they overthrew Mossadegh and put in a police state.